in the well, uh, having go from I don't know. Get a new